Okay, so welcome back. I worked it all out. In the end, I think I've decided for the time being to not buy any more players. As far as our senior team is concerned, what we've done is we've just slotted in. We've kept the same tactic set up. But we put in our new DMC that we bought into the team. We haven't put in. We will put this guy in actually. So we got that new defender. He'll go in. I think it's basically this guy can be central defender. So he will play in the formation. I'm just quickly work it out. It's instead of that guy. Can he pass? Okay, 52, 57. And that guy, 58, 36. Yeah, so probably... and then Newman, he was the one that could really tackle. So Newman will be here. We'll change him to central stopper. So he steps up to make the tackle, and he's the slower guy. And then we'll have our he can change to ball playing cover. And our new defender, which is the better one, will be in the middle. So he's now on the bench, that guy. And our new defender, he's faster, he can tackle, he can mark, he can do it all. That's why we got him. And this one, and he can pass. We'll go ball playing cover. Sorry, this guy should be ball playing defender. Okay. So we just reconfigured them. We got a new DMC. He's actually really good. We kind of want him involved in the thick of the play. We want him definitely attempting tackles. We're happy for him to go for them, but he's quite good at passing, but doesn't have the vision. So more simple passes. So at the moment he's just got the defensive midfielder role. I think what I would like for him to have is the destroyer role. I think I want him really going in for the tackles. I'm not sure if both of these... I think the problem with this guy having the role is he might play them primarily... I don't know. I'm not sure either of them are quite... They're like... he's probably not good enough anyway. I'm not sure if we wanted both. With the ball playing role in particular, it's better this guy, I think, with the cover has it, just because one, he's got decent passing and vision, not brilliant but decent, and two, he's when he gets the ball is in the cover role, it's more likely that he won't have a lot of pressure on him when he gets it, and we're more happy for him to play the longer balls and stuff than to do shorter passes to these other guys who aren't as good at distributing. So I think the main thinking here with this guy is that we want him to distribute potentially longer more often, specifically to avoid him passing shorter to other players that are less good at putting it longer. Does that make sense? So that's the thinking there. And also because he's more central, he has, generally speaking, depending on, everything impacts this, but as a general rule, because he is more central, he should have better passing angles, more sort of better series of options to do his passes to as well. And actually, you can already see, this weird, I don't know if I guess it is a little bit weird, but this sort of configuration actually does result in a decent amount of triangles appearing of different sizes as well to help with passing lanes. Yep. So this is how so it's basically the same tactic. We did, I think the one player in particular we mulled over quite a bit was the AMC. I think it was this guy, like, because he could work with this tactic that we're playing, and he probably is just a straight upgrade to the guy we're running. He could be quite generically useful. I did mull over this guy quite a lot, to be honest. I was close. You know what? We're doing a tutorial series. Let's just buy him. Let's move the story along. Let's just get him. Let's just do it. So, I'm not sure if it was the best decision or not, but he is just a straight, clean upgrade over this guy. And obviously this guy, you can see, is about to fall off of get worse as well, and he's old, and I feel like we probably, we'll use an AMC in whatever tactic we end up playing, especially if we're not playing wingers. We're probably going to end up with an AMC, so I feel like it's an okay purchase, that one. Interesting now which AMC's on the bench. I'm not sure we really even care about that guy, just because he's about to get worse anyway. So let's just roll with this guy. Now, interestingly, for this guy, all of a sudden, it is a bit different, because the guy that we took out, we didn't want shooting, but this one we're happy to have him shoot. So it does change things a bit. Now MC through the middle here, he's got the 69 in long shots, which is pretty good. But I'm not sure if it's necessarily enough to I think we just go creative forward for this guy. I'm pretty sure. Is that the right one? Yeah, let's try that. We'll leave it offset like this, but the main reason we did that before is because we didn't want the other guy shooting. We didn't care about him being in shooting positions, and we didn't necessarily want him to be. Now that's not true. I'm not sure how much sense it makes, but moving it here, it congests everything. Like there are other reasons. So this guy is attacking. He will be running into the same space. There's a lot less triangles that exist with him offset to here. So yeah. So I'll leave it offset for now, for the purposes of the next match that we would play with them. So that's how we've set that up. In regards to the tactics, now we're not super slow at the back. So that's worth keeping in mind. But for now, we'll leave the tactics how we set them up. For our youth squad, we've just selected the team based on what we had. We didn't buy any more youth players. This is just our starting youth squad, and we've just selected the best we can, and put together a formation that we could. I don't know if there's anything too much to discuss here. The striker is super slow, but I think he's okay at shooting. So if he gets a chance, hopefully we get the chances to him. Hopefully he can score, but obviously he's really slow. He can't dribble, and he's not creating anything himself. He needs the team to do it for him. Probably on that basis, we should just change him to poacher. We just don't want him involved in the build-up play at all. I think the wingers, this guy, we're okay for him to be attacking winger. I think the left-sided guy is slower but can tackle. Probably just want him to be a regular winger. In particular, we are playing a DMC out of position in left back, and this DLC, he is slow and cannot tackle. Not so what we've done is we've put the MLC, who also can't really pass but can tackle a bit, as defensive midfielder. So he will sort of come back here. He will be down a bit, and hopefully that just means that, and also this side, the winger will come back to defend a bit. So basically this guy will drop back a bit, and this guy will drop back a bit. And hopefully that'll just ease the pressure a bit on this half of the defense and put a little bit more pressure on the other half. And the other half, this guy can tackle a bit, and the fullback can tackle a bit, but he's super slow, but at least he's playing in position. So ideally we would have the attacks going more this way than this way, basically. So that's why this guy back a bit, this guy back a bit, this guy up a bit, this guy not coming back. So hopefully that bit of asymmetry creates what we're looking for there. The last one is the two roles here. These two guys, I think the MRC, he's got the passing the long shots. We're happy for him to have a shot, but I'm not sure we want him moving forwards. It'll just create too much. Make things not too rigid, not sort of fluid enough. Like it will create to start breaking the team apart too much. We need somebody in the middle. And the AMC, he could have a different role, but I don't know. We want him doing a lot with the ball. He's just too slow. He's not that great at dribbling. He can't, he's not. So, but we're happy for him to shoot. Really happy for him to shoot. He can pass and has the vision. So, we don't really want him dribbling. So I think it's either support striker or attacking midfielder. We can just in the match, maybe we'll change it to support striker. It's one of the few tactical things we could actually do, to be honest, to change things. As far as tactics are concerned, we just left everything in the middle. I think it's really just not trying to get too tricky here, to be honest. This is just our starting team. We're just trying to put something together that makes sense. We basically have a problem that our defenders are really slow and our strikers are really slow, so we don't really want to play a deep defensive line because I think one of our right winger maybe is not slow, but he's not fast, and all of the other attackers are slow. So we can't play a deep defensive line. We'll just be making, it'll be too much space, too difficult for our attacking players. And if we play it high, our defenders will just be way too exposed. So we basically just have to leave that in the middle. And then as far as all the rest of the, stuff is concerned, we'll leave it in the middle. Maybe we'll change it during the match based on what we see. Now we're just going to play the youth match. And we're going to, this youth friendly, to complete the tutorial. For now, we're just not going to focus too much on building out the youth team. We'll just make the most of what we have. If we happen to pick up any players we are happy for long term, we will pick them up, but we're not too bothered about the youth. We're just going to focus on the senior and focus on the academy trial graduates. Focus on just making the right decisions rather than just scrambling to, just buy players for the sakes of it. There was quite a few players that we were umming and ahhing for the youth team. But in the end, just none of them were just quite good enough to realistically be they just realistically weren't going to be good enough. We went over them in the last video. You could sort of see they just weren't quite there, and the few that might have been there were just too expensive. But in other days, I'm sure there was a few that were on the fence, but not quite there, I guess is what I'm saying, for various reasons. But in other days in the future, there will be some that are just the other side of the fence, I suppose, and we will pick those ones up. But for now, we're happy just to move forwards with what we've got, play some matches, and I thought maybe it would be interesting with the senior team in particular. We'll play some matches. It's the last day of the first weekly league period, I think I think it is today. So if we want to play some league matches, we will have to do it with the team that we've got. That might be an interesting exercise just to see if we can get, even though I'm sure we won't be using the tactic that we've set up longer term. We can't really, because we don't want to play the wingers. But it'd still be interesting to see if we can get it working as a little exercise, just for today and maybe the next day or two. So, alright, that's a real issue, but there's not much else we can do. It was the DRC, that is the one that is the better one that we want them to be trying to get through, and that's who they did get through. So at least that was okay. We can clearly see the difference between the two teams this time around, so that's good. Again, our attacking play is just too slow. I think the striker is good at tackling though, so if that situation happened for the striker, maybe he can win a tackle. Yeah, this is a problem, but we're doing. Can he get there first, is he? Yes. Okay. He's really slow, but he was perfectly weighted, and he managed to score. So at this point, we haven't created anything else. We just created that. I'm kind of just wondering. I'm not getting a good feeling, to be honest, that we are going to score another goal this match, based on what I've seen so far. I'm just quickly thinking if there's anything that we could do tactically. I'm just going to hit the pause actually and have a look at the instructions and stuff. Oh, there we go. Like I said, he's great at tackling. There you go. So yeah, okay. So we are creating a bit. We do have the 2 goals. I'm just pausing it now because I feel like the key to it kind of sounds obvious, but the key to winning this match now is to not concede any goals. So I'm just wondering if there's anything we could do to help with that a bit. I don't want to disrupt though. At the end of the day, we have created a couple chances. We have not given up. We've sort of been defending okay as well. I'm not going to change anything just for the sake of changing anything. I'm going to resume now. I couldn't think of anything to change. So one thing, even though it's obvious that you don't want to concede in order to win from here, but that doesn't mean that we should go all defensive now at all. At the end of the day, we could by doing some changes to go more defensive, that could increase the chances that we concede a goal. It could put us under a lot of pressure. It could restrict the amount that we are attacking. It could reduce our chances of scoring another goal ourselves. By attacking now, it's it's obviously we didn't score, we didn't have a shot or anything, but obviously whilst the ball is up there and we are attacking, they are not scoring either. So you need to bear that in mind, that sometimes attacking is the best form of defense to some degree, on the basis that if you are attacking, they aren't attacking. They are having shots, but so far all of them I'm kind of happy with. They're not great chances, they're longer shots, low percentage chances of scoring. One thing I am just going to quickly check is my goalkeeper attributes to see if we are indeed happy to be giving up those shots. I think as long as his shot stopping is okay, and some of his other attributes are okay a bit, as long as they're not disastrously low. Again, that's another chance. It's a bad angle. We're happy to give that chance up. So all the chances we've been giving up, they're the types that we're totally happy to give up. They're not good chances at all. What was I going to... I was just going to quickly check. Okay, so that's okay. If he parries it, it's like to be a bad deflection, but he'll get up quickly to recover it himself. So, and he's not good at handling. So yeah, so long shots for this keeper in particular are the exact ones that we are type of chances that we're happy to just give loads up. They're the type of chance that we want them taking, because if he does parry it, basically there's a good chance that he's just going to end up recovering it, the deflection himself. and we have not created. We've created less than them, but what we've created really solid, good chances, and they've created nothing of note. So on the whole, another really good chance there. I think it was the AMC that took that as well, who has very good long shots, he's the exact one that we want taking those long shots. So another good chance. So maybe on the whole the play has been, let's say, the overall play of the game. Let's look at the stats. They've had more possession, they've had more territory, same amount of shots each team, but we've had a really great set of chances, and they've had nothing of note. So it's not surprising at all that we are winning 2-0. And on that basis, I don't really want to change anything at the moment, because we're okay. And again, that wasn't a great chance. It was the strike. It wasn't the AMC. It was the striker that took that. So the AMC is the one with the really dangerous long shots. So it wasn't, but it's the type of chances that they've been getting. I mean, there's always, obviously, though, it was a good angle. If you get enough of them, eventually you will score. But at the end of the day, they're the type of chances that we're happy to give up. So, that's not a great chance like some of our others were. But on the whole, I would say, I don't feel any really panicky need at the moment to have to change anything. We've got lots of high condition. And we're not closing down is even balanced, so I think we're happy to basically be reactionary at this point. Like if we get a player with a knock or something, or player otherwise gets a bit tired, or we get a bit unlucky maybe, or they score, or if the play starts to turn or something. But for now, we're okay just to leave it, because I feel like our team is firmly in control of this match, and even though they have had a few chances, even if we don't change anything, I think it's so here, this is their first great chance here, but luckily we recovered. So that wasn't good. So that situation there, by the way, it was way more dangerous than any of the shots that they've actually taken. So that was the first. I think we've had 2 or 3 situations like that, and scored from 2 of them, and they've had 1 now. So that's more like, and we've had another high chance. So more how I would be thinking of measuring anything that matters, let's say, would be thinking of those types of situations, like how many of those types of situations are happening, and also who are those chances falling to. Now, I'm not familiar with their players, so when that looked really dangerous, I'm not sure what their attributes were, whether their finishing was high or low, and their composure and that type of stuff. So I'm not sure exactly how dangerous. But I think for the purposes of this exercise, you're kind of saying that we've had maybe 3 really good chances. They've had 1. That's how I would look at it. And we're winning 2-0. Or another way, I guess you could say that, is we've had 2 really good chances more than them, and we're 2 goals ahead of them. But I think, obviously, the only stat that really matters is how many goals. This is how you need to think of it, though. At the end of the day, everything else kind of doesn't matter at all. But, like, in the end, obviously, all that matters is the goals. That is the most important stat. But if you want to try to use anything else as a measure, I would say how many super dangerous situations is each team creating. That would be the next most important stat. So that is a very dangerous situation. So that's our 4th one. So super dangerous situation count now 4-1. So we are winning this match in regards to that stat as well. And I'm not sure if feels like we have come back into a little bit with the possession or the territory. I think the possession is about the same. The territory is swung quite a bit. So we've had him pinned back a bit. I'm just gonna I've just make the tactical changes. I'm gonna sub the right winger just because he's getting tired, and I think we've got a spare one, a substitute one. I think the substitute one is slow. I'll check his stats if and when we get to bring him on. The other one is the MC. We got a bunch of MCs on the bench, but I think they're all really bad. So don't think we will actually even bother changing that guy. We might, just to get... I'm not sure if it's even worth bothering getting any development points for these other guys, to be honest, because I don't think we'll keep any of them around longer term. This was like exactly the type of match where it wasn't looking that great. It felt like we were very lucky to be up 1-0, and then it also felt like we were very lucky to be up 2-0. But they were never really creating anything that was bothering me that much. Like, it was never really... They were never really creating any dangerous sort of opportunities. So it just felt like it was way more risk to change something tactically than what it was to leave it. And when you're winning 2-0, you don't need to take risks. You need to take risks when you're losing 2-0. So this was sort of exactly the type of match where it never... the correct sort of path was just to not change anything, despite the fact that, statistically, like, this is a very good example of a match where perhaps... in the end, we definitely ended up just sort of firmly controlling that match. Their players were tiring a lot compared to ours, which is pretty interesting. I wasn't really checking all the I think the roles and or maybe they're pressing, to be honest. They're probably pressing in their tactic. That's probably all it was. I was going to say, because I don't think there's anything particularly special about the the endurance and stuff. They're not super low, but they're just mid-range. I wouldn't be surprised if their players are pretty... Okay, so he's a bit lower. Yeah, but I'm guessing they're pressing and we weren't. So that's sort of why they were more on top of us at the start, and then as they as their players were getting more tired, they weren't playing as well, and they sort of fell away. But at the start, they were kind of smothering us a bit more. But yeah, I think obviously statistically in the end, it's quite interesting though, because the goals came when we were 2-0 up, when statistically they had like 5 shots and we had like 3 or 4, and they had more territory, more possession. So at the time when we were winning 2-0, when we first scored that second goal, statistically we were losing the match, let's say, in regards to these types of measures. But in the one measure that really matters, which is how many like really good dangerous situations have you created, we at that point we'd had 3 and they had none, even though they had all of these extra stats. And come the end of the match, I think the whole time they only created one troublesome situation for us. So yeah, exactly the type of match where it kind of felt like at the start there's a lot of reasons why you might be tempted to change things, but the correct decision is to not change anything. It's a very good example of less is more, and I think it is it can happen quite often that people will be in this exact type of match, this exact type of situation, and they will change things and not end up winning the match. So I think it was a good lesson in that one. And the we'll just check their home stats. I think for now, just curious. We're not going to build this out too much, but I'm just a bit curious about the shot attempts in particular. So, like, very interesting that all 10 of them fell to our striker. very interesting. So I'm not sure I've ever seen that, to be honest. That's very interesting. That we sort of tried to create a tactic where he doesn't really create anything himself. He got no run past opponents, only 6 dribble touches the whole match. He didn't really do, you know, yeah, didn't do a lot, but he did shoot a lot. So, and you know, he can shoot. That's all he can do. And he can, you know, so yeah, I'd say that that's interesting. We're not sure if we'll play another youth match to record for this, but yeah, very interesting. Anyway, we'll finish this video for now. What we'll do is we'll just finish the tutorial. We'll click the button. Well done, we've completed. We're going to be in Division 4 next season. And we've been put into the training leagues now for the remainder of the current season. Yeah, so the season ends in 9 hours. We're definitely not going to be able to play all of these matches. But we'll play some of them. Or at least one of them, anyway. We'll play at least one senior one. We'll probably play do a few matches if we can get enough interesting content. Right, so that's that for now, and we'll stop this video, and we will, the next video, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play our first couple of training league matches for our senior team.